world's first truly autonomous humanoid robot. Powered by the latest AI breakthroughs. Ready for your home in 2026.
So this is the moment when OpenAI drops GPT-6R, the world's first truly autonomous humanoid robot, powered by the same intelligence that runs ChatGPT. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot the difference between an autonomous robot and a $20,000 puppet, because GPT-6R actually will face the exact same problems. This is the year humanoid robots supposedly arrive. Figure announced mass production. Tesla threw a whole party for Optimus. 1X opened pre-orders for a home assistant. Boston Dynamics went electric. Headlines screamed AGI in a body, the robotics revolution, your future co-worker, the kind of news that makes you think. So this is exactly how the OpenAI GPT-6R announcement would look like. But when you look past the edited demos and the carefully scripted launches, very different picture emerges. One where humans are pulling the strings, sometimes literally, where autonomous means autonomous for about 12 seconds before an engineer steps in, where the gap between what these robots can do in a demo and what they need to survive in your kitchen is massive. So here's what we're doing today. First, I'm going to show you the teleoperation you're not supposed to see, the remote operators, the edited cuts, the giveaway signs in the footage. Then we'll run through the autonomy checklist, the 8 things any real AGI robot would need to function without a human babysitter. We'll look at where robots actually work right now. Spoiler, it's not your living room or kitchen. And finally, I'll give you an honest forecast on when you'll see true general purpose robots in the wild. Oh, and by the way, if navigating the AI hype cycle is something you struggle with, might want to check out AI Master Pro. It's basically your home base for everything AI. Bite-sized lessons, weekly digests on what's real versus what's marketing, and a community that keeps you grounded. I use it to stay current without drowning in noise. More on that in a bit later, but links below if you want to check it out. Before we tear this apart, let's appreciate the hype, because on the surface, 2024 looked like the breakthrough year. Let me walk you through the highlight reel. Figure AI dropped Figure 03 in October, sleeker design, better hands, a custom vision language action model they call Helix. They landed on the cover of Time magazine. The pitch, mass production within 12 months, deployments in logistics and manufacturing, and eventually you're home. The demo showed it folding laundry, sorting objects, responding to voice commands. It looked smooth, it looked real. This is exactly what GPT-6R's announcement would look like. Sleek, polished, full of promise. Tesla went bigger. At the We Robot event in October, Optimus robots walked around, handed out drinks, played games with guests, even did a little dance. Elon Musk stood on stage and said they'd be available for $20,000 to $30,000 in a few years, and that they'd eventually be able to do anything you want. The crowd went wild. Social media exploded. Investment analysts updated their models. Then there's 1X, the Norwegian startup. In September, they unveiled Neo, billed as the world's first humanoid robot designed for the home. The demo video showed it fetching items, tidying up, moving naturally through a house. They opened a waitlist. Wall Street Journal did a hands-on test. The tagline, your AI-powered home assistant. Pre-orders started at $20,000 with a subscription model for ongoing updates. Quick note before we dive into the receipts. This video is sponsored by Speechmatics, and honestly, the timing's perfect, because here's the thing about all these robots. They're supposed to respond to voice commands, right? You say, fold the towel, the robot does it, seamless conversation. Except, most voice agents completely fall apart the second more than one person starts talking. You've seen this. Someone interrupts, the transcript gets scrambled, the agent can't tell who said what. It's a mess. That's where Speechmatics is different. Their speech-to-text API is built specifically for multi-speaker accuracy. Speaker diarization means it automatically separates different voices. Speaker ID labels who's talking, and it handles 55+ languages, accents, dialects, the stuff that breaks deep DeepGram, Assembly AI, even 11 Labs in real-world scenarios. I tested this building a voice agent with their API. Two people talking over each other, one with a thick accent. Speechmatics nailed it. The transcript showed speaker 1, speaker 2, clean separation, zero confusion. That's not magic, that's just actually good training data. If you're building anything voice first, agents, transcription tools, meeting bots, Speechmatics is offering $200 in free credits. Links in the description. Just sign up and test it. I did it, and it works. All right, back to robots. Let's talk about what they're actually doing behind the curtain. Boston Dynamics retired their hydraulic Atlas and debuted the all-electric version. It's faster, quieter, more adaptable. The reveal video showed it twisting its torso in ways that look borderline unsettling, moving engine parts around a mock factory floor. Boston Dynamics has always been the gold standard for mobility, and this felt like them saying, okay, now we're going commercial. And there's more. Agility Robotics Digit is moving boxes at Amazon warehouses. Sanctuary AI's Phoenix has hands sensitive enough to sort tiny components. Unitree's G1 is selling for $16,000, marketed as a research platform, but with clear ambitions beyond the lab. Apptronic's Apollo is partnering with NASA and Mercedes-Benz. The Robot Report called 2024 the inflection point. So yeah, if you just watch the sizzle reels, you'd think we're 6 months away from having a robot butler, but here's what they're not showing you. Let's start with Tesla, because it's the most blatant example and because everyone saw it. Remember those Optimus robots mingling with the crowd, pouring drinks, playing rock, paper, scissors? Turns out they weren't autonomous at all. Bloomberg reported that the robots were remote operated by humans. The Verge confirmed it. Morgan Stanley analysts noted some levels of human intervention. But here's the kicker. At the event itself, if you were paying attention, you could tell. Multiple people posted videos where the robot's voice changed mid-conversation.
Wait just a second.
Okay.
You look a little too young. I'm gonna need some
What?
identification.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
No way.
The gestures were too immediate. Someone would ask a question and the robot would respond instantly. No processing delay, no thinking pause. That's not inference latency. That's a person in a VR rig watching through the robot's cameras. Tesla didn't lie exactly, they just didn't correct anyone's assumptions. And when Elon tweeted afterward, he pivoted to, Optimus will be able to do this autonomously eventually. Cool. Eventually, it is not October 2024, and this is exactly what would happen after OpenAI launched GPT-6R, the same teleoperation tricks, the same eventually autonomous promise. I hope not. This is not what we expect from OpenAI. Now, 1X, their Neo demo looked great. Joanna Stern from the Wall Street Journal got early access and tested it. Her takeaway, it's 100% teleoperated. Here's how it works. You place an order for a task through an app. The request goes to 1X's Turing team. That's what they call their remote operators. A human puts on a VR headset, sees through the robot's cameras, and controls its movements in real time. Joanna Stern asked Neo to fetch a water bottle. It took over a minute. She asked it to clean up some clutter. It moved slowly, clumsily, clearly being piloted. And here's the uncomfortable part. Those cameras are always streaming. 1X's terms of service confirm it. Video data is sent to their servers for training and operation. So you're paying $20,000 for a robot to have a stranger watch your living room 24/7. Even when the robot's off, the cameras might not be. That's not a butler. That's a security risk with arms. Figure is more careful with their messaging. Brett Adcock, the CEO, tweeted in October, nothing Figure does is teleoperated. Strong statement. But when Time magazine did their behind-the-scenes piece, the cracks showed. In one segment, the robot is folding a towel. It freezes mid-fold. An engineer walks into frame, adjusts the towel, steps back out. The robot continues. The article describes this as autonomous navigation and manipulation with occasional resets. Okay, but if a human has to intervene every 30 seconds, is it autonomous or just less teleoperated? Figure's Helix model is real, and it's impressive. They've trained a vision language action system on millions of robot interactions, but trained on teleoperation data means the robot learned by watching humans control it. It's imitating human pilots, not reasoning from first principles. That's a huge difference. It's the gap between a parrot repeating a phrase and a person understanding the words. So how do you tell when a demo is human-assisted? Here are the markers I look for. 1. No long takes. If every success is preceded by a cut, that's a red flag. Real autonomy doesn't need jump cut editing. Boston Dynamics' old Atlas parkour videos were single takes because the robot actually did it. 2. Latency mismatches. If a robot responds to a voice command instantly, like 0 delay, it's probably not running inference on device. It's a human hearing you and hitting a button. 3. Unnatural edits. Watch for moments where the robot's position jumps slightly between frames or where the camera angle shifts right before a tricky maneuver. That's usually where they cut out a failure and restart it. 4. Visible hardware. Look for backpacks, thick cables, or unusual antenna arrays. Those often mean off-board computers or direct radio link to an operator. 5. No failures. This is the big one. Real robots fail a lot. If you're watching a 5-minute demo and nothing goes wrong, nothing gets dropped, nothing gets retried, you're watching a highlight reel of 100 attempts where you're probably watching a real person. Okay, so most of these robots aren't as autonomous as the marketing suggests, but what would real autonomy actually take? Let's talk about what a true GPT-6R, a general-purpose autonomous humanoid, would need to function. I'm calling this the 8-gate checklist. Miss any one of these and you don't have an AGI robot, you have an expensive prototype. The robot needs to see and understand the world in real time. That means 360-degree vision, depth sensing, object recognition under weird lighting, handling occlusions when something's half hidden behind something else. It needs to track moving targets, distinguish between a cup of water and a cup of coffee, notice when a floor is wet or a stair is broken. Right now, most robots use RGB cameras plus LiDAR or depth sensors. That works in controlled environments, but put them in a cluttered kitchen with bad lighting and a reflective countertop, and their perception falls apart. They can't tell the difference between a shadow and a hole. That's a problem. Perception is input. Planning is thinking. The robot needs to take a goal, clean up this room, and break it into subtasks. Pick up the shoe, put it in the closet, grab the cup, take it to the sink, wipe the table. It needs to sequence those tasks, adapt when something goes wrong, remember what it's already done, and recover from failures without starting over. This is where large language models seem promising, right? You could prompt a robot with "clean the kitchen" and it generates a plan. But here's the catch. LLMs don't have a world model. They don't know that a wet cup will slide on a tilted tray or that you have to open the closet door before you put the shoe inside. They hallucinate steps that sound plausible but don't work in physics. So you end up with a plan that's grammatically correct and physically impossible. Control is execution. Even if the robot knows it needs to pick up the cup, it has to actually do it. That means inverse kinematics, joint torque limits, balance while reaching, tactile feedback so it doesn't crush the cup or drop it. And it has to do this in a closed loop, meaning it's constantly checking, is my hand where I think it is the cup slipping? Do I need to adjust? Humans do this unconsciously. Robots don't. Most demos you see are open loop. The robot calculates a path, executes it, hopes for the best. If something shifts mid-reach, the robot doesn't notice, it just misses. Manipulation is control's evil twin. It's not just moving your hand to the right place, it's handling objects that are soft, fragile, slippery, oddly shaped, or elastic. These tasks are trivial for humans and nearly impossible for robots because real-world objects don't behave like rigid bodies in a simulator. Towel folds differently every time. A banana peel has variable resistance. A cable has memory and kinks. Robots trained in simulation, even with really good sim, encounter objects in reality that break all their assumptions. This is called the sim-to-real gap, and it's massive. If a robot's going to work around humans, it has to be safe. That means collision avoidance, force limits so it can't hurt you, emergency stop behavior, and critically, predictability. You need to be able to walk past a robot without worrying it's going to swing an arm into your face because it didn't see you. This isn't just don't hit people. It's understand that a child might run into your path, that a dog might jump on you, that someone might open a door into your workspace. It's spatial awareness plus intent prediction plus fail-safes. Most industrial robots solve this by working in cages away from humans. Humanoid robots don't have that luxury. Perception, planning, control, manipulation, safety, all of that has to happen fast. If the robot takes 2 seconds to decide whether to grab a falling cup, the cup's already on the floor. Reflexes matter. If you're the kind of person who's trying to stay current on AI without falling for every flashy lunch, I need to tell you about my actual workflow. Most people balance bounce between YouTube tutorials, Reddit threads, X-Hype, and Discord servers trying to piece together what's real. It's exhausting. So I built something different, AI Master Pro. Think of it as your all-in-one hub for actually learning AI, not just watching demos. Here's what's inside. First, there's a generative AI starter course, over 100 bite-sized lessons. We're talking fundamentals, workflows, tools that actually work. No fluff. Second, there's the AI Master Method, an action sprint that walks you through building a sellable AI offer and launching it in 4 weeks. This isn't theory, it's the exact process I use to build AI products that people pay for. And my AI tools, Ask AI Master, AI Art Studio, Prompt Creator, Voice Booth, Deep Research, everything in one place. But here's the real value, the weekly AI Digest. Every week, I curate the breakthroughs that matter, the ones you need to know about, and I filter out the noise, like today's robot hype. Plus, there's a community of people who are actually building with AI, not just talking about it. Right now, we're offering 24% off annual memberships for the first 1,000 people. You get ongoing updates, tools, and a place to ask questions when something doesn't make sense. If you are serious about AI, not just watching it happen, but using it, check the link in the description. And all right, back to the robots. Look, here's the problem. Modern AI models are slow. Vision language model running on a GPU might take 200 milliseconds per inference. That's fine for a chatbot. It's incredibly slow for a robot trying to maintain balance on one foot. You need edge compute, fast, local processing for anything time sensitive. Most robots today offload compute to the cloud or to a tethered workstation. That's not autonomy. That's a very expensive marionette. Robots need energy, a lot of it. Walking is expensive. Lifting things is expensive. Running compute is expensive. Most humanoid robots right now get 1 to 2 hours of active use per charge. That's not enough. Compare that to a human who can work an 8-hour shift, take a lunch break, and keep going. If your robot needs to dock every 90 minutes, it's not a general purpose assistant. It's a toy with a short battery life. Some companies are working on hot swappable batteries or auto docking, but we're not there yet. Finally, training. For a robot to be truly autonomous, it needs to have seen millions of scenarios in simulation and in reality. It needs to know what to do when a chair is in an unexpected spot, when a door is stuck, when a cup is chipped. That requires massive data sets. Right now, most robots are trained on a few thousand hours of teleoperation data or synthetic sim data. That's not enough for generalization. Humans learn over years in countless environments. Robots need the same exposure, but compressed. We're not there yet, not even close. So 8 gates. If a robot clears all 8, you've got something that could reasonably be called autonomous. If it fails even 1, you've got a prototype, a demo, or remote controlled toy. Now take a guess, how many of the robots from that parade clear all 8? 0. Okay, I've been harsh, but let's be fair. There are places where robots do work. Real work. Not demos, not prototypes. Actual deployed systems doing actual jobs. They're just not the jobs the marketing wants you to imagine. This is where robots thrive. Agility Robotics Digit is moving totes at Amazon. It's not doing anything fancy. It picks up a bin, carries it a few meters, sets it down, but the environment is controlled. The bins are standardized, the paths are pre-mapped, the lighting is consistent. Digit doesn't need to be smart, it needs to be reliable. Same with Boston Dynamics Stretch. It unloads trucks, same task over and over in the same type of trailer, with the same kinds of boxes. That narrow scope is why it works. Apptronik's Apollo is going into automotive plants. Again, narrow task. Moving parts from point A to point B on a factory floor. That floor doesn't have pets, kids, or unexpected furniture. It has known obstacles and predictable workflows. This is the robotics sweet spot. Structured environment with repetitive tasks, not because the robots are dumb, but because removing variables makes autonomy possible. And you know what? Even GPT-6R would thrive here. OpenAI's robot wouldn't need AGI level intelligence to move boxes. It just needs reliability. The real test is everywhere else. There's another model that works. Teleoperation hybrids, surgical robots are the best example. The Da Vinci robot doesn't make decisions. A human surgeon controls it, but the robot provides precision, stability, and reach. edge that human hands can't match. Same with bomb disposal robots or deep sea inspection bots. This isn't failure, it's an honest design. You're using the robot for mechanical advantage, not intelligence, and you're keeping a human in the loop for the judgment calls. Some companies are pitching this as the path forward for humanoids too. You'd have a fleet of robots doing simple tasks autonomously with human operators on standby to take over when something weird happens. That could work, but it's not AGI, it's remote labor with better hardware. Here's the hard truth. General purpose home robots are at least 5 years out, probably more like 10. Why? Because homes are chaos. Every house is different. Every family has different routines. Your toddler leaves toys on the floor. Your dog barks at the vacuum. Your kitchen counter has a weird lip that makes cups slide. These are edge cases to a robot, but they're daily life to you, and edge cases are where robots break. One X's Neo might launch in 2026, but it'll be teleoperated, limited to very specific tasks and reliant on a subscription service to a remote workforce. That's not a robot. That's TaskRabbit with latency. Figure's timeline for home deployment is late 2020s, maybe. If they solve manipulation, safety, and battery life, big ifs. Tesla's $20,000 Optimus, Elon's been saying next year for 3 years. I'll believe it when I see an unedited 10-minute video of it cleaning a house with no human intervention. So here's what I think actually happens in the next 12 to 24 months. More warehouses and factories adopt humanoid robots for narrow tasks. That market grows, investment pours in. The robots get better at those specific jobs. Teleoperation becomes a selling point, not a secret. Companies will start advertising human in the loop as a feature. Our robots are backed by expert operators for complex tasks. And honestly, that might be a smarter pitch than pretending the robots are autonomous. Home robots remain vaporware. You'll see more demos, more wait lists, more pre-orders, but actual deployments in real homes doing unsupervised work, not happening. And the gap between the demos and reality, it'll get wider because the demos will keep getting better at hiding the tricks. Look, I'm not trying to kill the dream here. I want robot assistance as much as anyone. I want to walk into my house and say, hey robot, clean up this mess, and have it actually happen. That would be incredible, but we're not there. And pretending we are, because it makes for a better launch event or a better funding round, doesn't help anyone. It sets false expectations. It burns trust, and it distracts from the real progress that is happening. Because here's the thing, the robots that work right now in warehouses and factories are legitimately impressive. The research going into manipulation and perception is solving hard problems. The companies building teleoperation systems are creating tools that could genuinely help people in hospitals, in disaster zones, in places where remote hands matter. That's worth celebrating, but it's not AGI in a body. It's not a general purpose assistant. And it's definitely not something you should pre-order for $20,000 based on a 3-minute demo video. So here's my advice. When you see the next robot launch, ask these questions. Is this autonomous or teleoperated? What's the longest unedited take of this robot working? What happens when something unexpected occurs? How long does the battery last? Don't believe the keynote, believe the physics. And speaking of AI tools that actually work, if you found this breakdown valuable, you'd probably love AI Master Pro. This is exactly the kind of analysis we do every week, cutting through the hype, showing you what's real, and teaching you how to use AI tools that actually deliver results today. Right now, we're giving the first 1,000 members 24% off annual memberships. That's courses, tools, prompts, community, and weekly updates all in one place. Links in the description, no robots required. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.